If you're just joining us, this is Perspective, and of course we are discussing Kuje politics, and of course we are looking at Honorable Abdullahi Sabo Scorecard since inception into this administration. It's been the S.A with me in the studio, S.A on media, to the Executive Chairman of Kuje Area Council, Nuhu Tanko.
Thank you very much.
Okay, before we go on break, you were talking about the empowerment program, and of course the level of empowerment that the current chairman has done to the citizens of Kuje. And the issue of lopsided employment is a major concern. While we have dealt with that, we would like to go to education sector. What is the education challenges so far? And of course, how has the chairman, the executive chairman of Kuje Area Council, dealt with this issue he met on ground?
Thank you very much. Before going to the education sector, I want to remind you of something we just did. Just 2 weeks ago, the wife of the Honorable Chairman Kuje Area Council, Hajia Salamatu Abdullahi Sabo, empowered over 250 women with 20,000 naira each to start up a business, as grant to start up a business. Then coming to the education sector.
Okay, well, before we jump into the education, that remind me, among the empowerment that the executive chairman did,
the wife of the executive chairman.
No, I'm talking about the executive chairman.
Okay.
There have been wide talk among citizens in Kuje, or the Kujerians, from the other end. I would say opposition, that the chairman has also gifted many people cars, and is it in a deliberate attempt in campaigning for the forthcoming elections?
Well, whatever they view it, particularly from the opposition side, is just as the way they see it. But I want to tell you that even from the opposition side, benefited from the cars the chairman distributed from the opposition. You get me? I could recall.
They said this is a deliberate act in trying to begin to buy their vote from now.
No. It's not a deliberate.
That it has been the norm. It has been the norm in the previous elections in this Kuje Area Council.
No, it has not.
Is he following the same template?
No, it's not. The chairman, no chairman, in fact, have done what the present chairman have done. No chairman, no executive chairman in the history of the council have distributed cars just as the way this present chairman is doing. In fact, I was in Gwagwalada when the Algon chairman, when the chairman of Kuje Area Council directed the Algon chairman, which is Gwagwalada Area Council chairman, Honorable Mustafa Danzi, to present a car key to Mr. Samuel. From his words, he said the greatest dividends of democracy in the whole of the world is infrastructure and human development. He said on infrastructure, Abdullahi Sabo Scorecard is second to none. And on human development, what the chairman have done in terms of human empowerment, no chairman have achieved that in the history.
Now, are you saying that this administration has outperformed the previous administration in terms of capacity building?
More than any other administration, in fact.
How true? How we are not seeing the figures?
It's visible.
How?
The achievements are very, very visible. The achievements are very, very visible. Just as I said, I made mention of grinding machines and motorcycles, right? Youth across the political world, irrespective of party and other things, benefited. Just last week again, the chairman procured over 70 wheelchairs. Over 70 wheelchairs. And he distributed it to the physically challenged we have in Kuje Area Council.
Okay, now let's look at education. Let's put our searchlight on the education. What because if you look critically, to begin with, the infrastructure. Let's talk about the infrastructure. If you look, it's very glaring and obvious when you look around the rural areas in Kuje Area Council. The infrastructure of the schools are nothing to write home about. How would you react to that?
In Kuje Area Council, the schools in rural areas, I want to assure you that you should go to all the rural areas we have in Kuje Area Council. There are physical structures, standard structures in the rural areas. The challenge we are having in the rural areas are insufficient teachers, particularly in the primary schools. When the chairman came, he understands that teachers don't like going to the rural areas to work. When you are being posted to the rural areas, they came back, go to the local education authority, applied for transfer. And they will retransfer them back to the city centers. You go to rural areas, you find out that in a school, you have not more than 2-3 teachers in the rural areas. But when you come to the town, in a single primary school, you find out that there are over 200 staffs in the schools. When the chairman came, he said, no, all this should not continue. Because children in the rural areas have the same syllabus to cover with the children in the city centers. Why not retransfer these staffs? Anywhere there are lack of teachers, send teachers to that very place. But please, don't witch hunt anybody. If you are doing your transfer, whoever is staying in Gaube should be transferred to those axes. Gaube, Kasada, Kuseki, Gafari. If you are living in Gaube, you can teach in any of these places. If you are living in Rubochi, you should be transferred to Tika within that axis. You understand what I'm saying? Not that you are teaching in Rubochi, you are being transferred from Rubochi to Kebinkasa or to Takwa. You know, it's in form of punishment. So he said, whoever is living in Rubochi, Kabi, or any of the ward, please, that person should remain in that ward. But please, they should transfer. They should have adequate staffs in all the schools we have in Kuje Area Council.
So what do you say about the favoritism in the employment or recruitment of teachers?
Yes, I would say when we came, since the inception of this government, we have not employed anybody in the local education authority or the area council.
But there has been this assertion that underground recruitment of teachers is ongoing.
There is nothing like that. There is nothing like that in the area council. The only employment I know the chairman did or is from other places where he went and secured. Just as I said, the security agencies, the Nigerian Army, the chairman was able to secure 17 slots to Kuje's youth. The Nigerian police, the chairman was able to secure 13 to youth. The prison, which is known as Nigerian Correctional Service now, chairman was able to secure 4 to our youth. And VIO, then the Federal Capital Territory Administration, the chairman was able to secure appointments to our teaming youth who are graduates. You understand what I'm saying?
So now let's talk, you mentioned infrastructural development so far. Since the inception of the chairman, the executive chairman, how many projects has he been able to do so far?
When you talk of infrastructure in Kuje Area Council have never witnessed an administration where there is ongoing project like this present administration. With the inception of this government, the present chairman have so far connected more than 50 villages Those villages are under Kuje Area Council. And I want to assure you, Kuje Area Council have the most difficult terrain in the whole of the 6 area councils we have in FCT. Our people are living in the village. No access road. They cannot come out to do business. And this has been the major challenge even before we came in.
So you're saying that somewhere in Peggy, because I recall very well, about a month or 3 months ago, I traveled to Peggy village, and of course the road is in a terrible state.
Yes.
Are you saying that currently the road is under construction, it has been constructed?
I want you to go and check. You will come back and attest that the road, the way you saw it before, is not like that again. That is one. Secondly, the chairman, on his effort, have met with Minister of State in regards to the Peggy road severally. In fact, even the major road we have in Kuje, the only major road we have in Kuje, when we came, the road was very, very dead. In fact, cars cannot even move.
Okay, because it surprised me a lot when you say that over 50 villages has the road has been constructed. Because the last time we conducted assessment here, we realized that majority of the villages, the farmers in the villages, what they were complaining of is access road. You understand? Access road to these villages, and of course some of these what do you call it? So some bridges, these culverts, they need to be constructed so that the cars will have access to their village and take their goods to the city centers. But how far has the chairman responded to the yearning of these farmers in these villages? Okay, of course, I'll have to cut you short from here. When we come back from this short break, we will continue to health, because health has become one of the serious issues, and of course we want to know the scorecard of this administration, because the crisis that metted the world entirely, when you talk about the COVID-19, there have been serious issues with management of COVID-19 monies and palliatives and what have you. So we will look at this issue critically when we come back from this short break. We'll be right back from this short break. Welcome to Perspective. Perspective is a program that brings you burning issues of the moment. We discuss, analyze, and dissect topical issues that made headlines and are still trending in the media. We engage stakeholders, journalists, technocrats, and citizens who give their perspectives and an in-depth analysis of issues and events that impact our society, ranging from politics to health, agriculture, education, business, and entertainment. Your perspective, their perspectives, our perspectives matters.